Christmas, everybody. I hope we are all prepared and feeling very, very festive. Today's recipe is one that I think is going to get you feeling that little bit more Christmassy, because this is my take on sausage and mash as a Christmas version. So there's lots of changes you can make to this to suit you, or you can copy exactly what I'm doing. So we're going to be cooking some sausages wrapped in bacon. So they are the pigs in blankets. Of course, you don't have to put bacon around them if you don't want to. We're going to be pressure cooking our mashed potato, and we're going to be creating some gorgeous crispy leek and Brussels, and you can either top your mashed potato with that or mix it through your mash like a colcannon, is that how you say it? I think that's the one where you've got that kind of cabbage that goes through it, so it's a little bit similar to making something like that. So we're going to use a few different functions on the Ninja Foodi to create this. There's lots of ways I did think about doing this. You could do it as a steam meal if you want to layer it up. I kind of fancied doing the elements separate, so that's what I'm doing, and that's what I'm showing you this evening. Don't forget to hit the like button for me if you do think that this recipe is something that you're going to enjoy, and subscribe as well if you're new here. And don't forget, leave me a comment. Let me know if you give this a try over the festive season. Right, let's go and cook. Very simple start. I'm on sear and saute, and I've got some olive oil in the bottom here, and I've got it on level 3 at the moment. I may change that. We're going to see how we get on. We've got a sizzle. It's nice and warm already. So I've got one leek here, and that has just been all chopped up, and I really want to cook this down. So we may need to go a little bit lower on the sear and saute, but we will see. So rather than just using leek or cabbage, of course, this time of year, there are Brussels everywhere. So we're using Brussels sprouts in this recipe. If you're not a Brussels sprout lover, of course, you don't have to use them. If I'm honest, if they're boiled, then I'm not interested in Brussels sprouts. But if they're cooked like this, then I really do like them. Let's add a little bit of seasoning to them as well. I'm going to keep it quite simple though. Just let those flavours come through. I think the Brussels with the leek, with the sausage and the bacon is delicious. But to take this up to another level, I am making on my hob, so I'm doing that separately, some red onion gravy. And that is going to be delicious with this dish. Of course, you can use, a packet, shop bought gravy. Just makes it a bit quicker and easier, doesn't it? You don't have to make a homemade one. You can see that these are starting to soften down now. The Brussels are kind of falling apart a little bit more. The leek is all coming apart too. I think another 5 minutes or so. I mean, it's really down to you how long you cook yours for, depending on how you like it, really. But I think for me, around another 5 minutes. So maybe around sort of 10 to 15 minutes is going to be good. You can see here that I'm getting a little bit of colour on the outside, which is exactly as I want them. So I'm going to remove these now and set these aside. Now, by doing this in separate elements, obviously you have got the issue of keeping things warm. I've chosen to do it this way. As I said, there are other ways that you could definitely make this. So I like to pressure cook my potatoes, and I use vegetable stock and water. So in there I've got 1.5 kilograms of peeled potatoes, chopped up. I like to do them around this size because 8 minutes is normally good. If your potatoes are larger, you can cook them a little bit longer. If your potatoes obviously are smaller, they're going to cook quicker. So if you like to dice yours to get them cooked really quickly, then that's up to you. But I think this size just works nice for mash. I think they go kind of nice and fluffy and tender. And obviously the vegetable stock gives me lots of flavour in my potatoes, which is why I use it. When I mentioned earlier that you could do steam meals, I've done a sausage and mash steam meal before, where you have your potatoes in the bottom, then you've got your rack with your vegetables and your sausages. So that is another option for you if you prefer to take this recipe and then change it up and make it your own. I'd love to hear in the comments what you do with this recipe, whether you like the way that I'm doing it or you're going to do it a little bit different. We're all learning here, but sometimes it's just, for me, it's whatever works best for my evening, who I'm feeding, if I've got any fussy eaters which will eat certain elements and not others. There's lots of factors to different reasons that we choose different methods, but that's the great thing with the Ninja Foodi, is that there are loads of options. Okay, so let's pour this stock over the potatoes. I go with that amount because, as you can see, it kind of covers the potatoes quite nicely, and I know that there's plenty of stock in there for what I need. So let's close the lid. Don't forget to make sure your pressure valve is on seal, and then we switch over to pressure cook. I want a quick release, high, and as I said, 8 minutes. Right, potatoes are all drained, and I'm adding 50 grams of butter, 50 ml of single cream to my potatoes, some salt. You can add a little bit of mustard in if you like, because it does work nice with the sausages. Dijon or whole grain works really well. Now with the sausages, I've decided to put them on the rack, and I was going to go with a double layer like this, but actually I think this just gives me a little bit more space than it does in the basket, but actually I don't think I need to put mine on the higher level, because anything on the higher level is going to cook a bit quicker than anything underneath. Now I've got some with bacon, as you can see, and some without. It's just personal preference of my family that I'm feeding tonight, but I will definitely be having one with bacon. Right, so let's get these onto air fry 180 until they are cooked enough. It's probably going to be 15-20 minutes.